one of the spaces that was flooding. And when he went down, not one, but two decks into floodwaters that were surging around his ankles and rapidly rising, and that space was eventually going to completely flood. A young man was trapped behind the desk, critically wounded, broken leg, other injuries. He managed to pull him out and then literally get him pushed up two sets of ladders or stairs and get him rescued and saved his life. So, I mean, floodwaters coming around. I've got sailors saving him. I had another one where a young woman, literally two compound fractures to her femurs, trapped in the wreckage, and two sailors were able to pry back. And I had one of my officers reach down and said, I know this is going to hurt, but I need you to do it on the count of three. And he pulled her out with those two legs broken and again, got her to triage, stabilized her. We would evacuate her off the ship. And again, she is alive today. So we really had some heroic efforts going on that day in those critical minutes afterwards. And again, I attribute that to my heroes and the crew because they took the initiative to do that in that moment. And they're the ones that truly saved our ship and shipmates.
Now, how did that affect morale among the sailors seeing such a muted reaction to such a devastating loss of life? What kind of message did it send that both Democrat and Republican administrations were somewhat disinterested in getting to the bottom of what happened?
I think it did have an effect on morale because they felt like, wait a minute, we're supposed to be defending freedom out there for our nation. But by the same token, when something happens and lives are lost, when we have the political leadership and to a degree, the military leadership as well, say and do nothing to demand a response to it, they're kind of wondering exactly what's going on here. I mean, it's one thing for us to volunteer, to serve our nation and defend our Constitution and way of life, but it's another thing for me to sacrifice my life and nothing's done as a result. And it's been particularly frustrating, especially for the families who lost loved ones, to see no accountability when it comes to holding those responsible for this attack, which was bin Laden, his followers, and everything else. And while, yes, we have taken out several members that were involved in that chain through drone strikes, obviously post 9/11 in Afghanistan with the military force, we still have that guy, al-Nashri, down in Gitmo, who really is enjoying a fairly decent quality of life, gets 3 meals a day, gets to pray 5 times a day, and it just drags on and on. So justice delayed is justice denied. And I think people overall in the military see this, but they still want to have people that did this held responsible for their actions. We've had 20 years to process the evidence scene, and we continue to even do it today. I mean, the FBI and their forensics lab in Quantico, Virginia, and now the explosives lab that's down in Huntsville, Alabama, they continue to process little items of evidence, continuing to tie people like al-Nashri and others to that crime, now an act of war, so that we can hold them accountable.
All right. Well, Commander Lippold, this has been so wonderful having you, and I think our audience is going to be very interested to watch this. Thank you for coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you. And thank you again to Daily Wire and to Big Media for really telling a story of heroism that the American people don't know about, and now they'll get the opportunity to.
Over there.